Trainer Joe, the people want to know. How do you lose that last 10 pounds when you've maybe been on a journey, you've been successful, but the last 10 hangs on?
Yeah.
Why does it do that? How can we lose it? Break it down for us.
Isn't that common? How many people do you know that really get all the way to where they want to be? It's kind of rare, isn't it?
To like truly get there.
Really, they say, man, I'd like to lose 50 pounds. And you know, because we get plenty of people that want to lose 50 pounds. But how many people come to you and say, I want to lose 10 pounds? And how many people get away with that? Because a lot of people really are like, why do you care at that point? Right? Why do you care at that point? Why aren't you just happy? If you just got 10 pounds to lose, why don't you just say, I'm fine now? Do you find that?
Yeah. Absolutely. There's almost like this shame.
It is. Is it the opposite of fat shaming? It's like
shaming
somebody for wanting to be too perfect.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that you're definitely...
And they're like, man, if I could just be where you are, I'd be so happy. You can't even be happy when you're near perfection. I remember when I was doing some groups at Lexmark, and we did a dozen of them or so there, and one guy came in. People would come in, and I would go around and say, what brings you here? We would just do a 21-day there. And this one guy got to him, and he was from another country. I don't remember.
I remember this guy.
And his... Can we say his name? I think his name was Joe. And I said, what brings you here, Joe? And he said, I would like to lose 4 to 5 pounds.
Let's go, Joe. My man.
So funny. And everybody's like, well, get damn out. Come on. We got real problems here. This guy over here, why is he even here? Right? So there is some of that.
Big respect to Joe, though.
Can we have some love for those in that situation?
Can we all show some love here?
Can we show some love?
So, again, whether it's you've been for years 10 pounds more than you'd like and now you're determined I'm going to lose the 10 pounds, or maybe in the last year you lost 50 pounds and you wanted to lose 60 and the last 10 pounds is hanging on. So that's kind of the two scenarios.
Yeah, and who are these people? Because I think sometimes you can identify. One of them is it's mama getting ready for the wedding, or the bride, right? They want to look their best. Their honeymoon's coming in. They want that last, Now, after marriage, it's just like, they don't care until it gets up to 80 pounds.
Not true.
I probably should do something, Steve. Right?
I've gained 100 pounds.
Gained 100 pounds. I should probably do... Before the wedding, like, I got 3 more pounds to look my best.
Wow.
What happens?
All right.
What happened in there?
Mm-hmm. I'm not commenting on it.
70 pounds later. I should probably...
Why didn't you say something,
Why didn't
Steve?
you say something? Look at me. Nothing fits. Steve! Who are we making fun of? Anybody? Nobody, right? So everybody should be able to embrace what we're talking about right now. It's all fun, love.
Let's get to it. What's the first tip you have for losing the last stubborn 10? Let's get to it.
Who said I had tips?
What do you got?
How to lose the last stubborn 10. Yeah. Well, I remember my mother-in-law when my wife went to her mom and said, Mom, the doctor, she's wanting her mom to be healthy and live. She has since passed, but she had lived 92 years. Yeah. And one day my wife said to her mother, Mom, the doctor said if you would lose 35 pounds, you would be so much healthier. And Mom said, 35 pounds? She said, I wouldn't get to eat hardly anything. Isn't that where we get to a point where, like, I don't know that I want to eat that little. That's just like, how much? Because when you get that close to it, you're doing a lot of things right.
That's a great point. Yeah. You're doing a lot of things right if you're within 20 pounds of your goal weight.
Yeah, you're close. So is there a possibility you're just a little extreme, and why don't you just be happy where you're at? Is there a little of that? Do you have any of that?
Oh, I mean,
you and I are kind of similar.
We're a little too similar. We're scarily similar.
Scarily similar.
I hear that sentiment, but if you have 10 excess pounds,
are they excess pounds?
If you've determined they're excess pounds, why not lose them?
That's a great point. Would life be better without them? Would you be happier?
Pull out the fat blob. Pull out the fat blob.
Fat blob is around here somewhere.
10 excess pounds.
10 pounds.
It doesn't sound like much, and it's not, in the grand scheme of things, 10 excess pounds is not crazy.
Right.
But it's 2 of these that I'd rather not have on my butt.
You might like them there for yours anyway. Put them right there. You need 2 of these on your butt.
As I was going out of my mouth, I was trying to decide where should I.
I know what you're saying. It's usually all over. But yeah, if it was all on your neck,
in my abdominal,
you'd be like, I got to do something.
Well, oftentimes it's in our abdominal region.
Right. Usually that's at least one of these is right there. The rest is spread out.
And I'd rather not have that right there.
Right. So people are like, if I could just get rid of this last bit. Good or bad, a little bit of vanity maybe in there. Maybe not though. Should we judge that person? So we could talk about that. Let's talk more about how to make it happen.
It's 2 of these, guys.
It's 2 of these.
That's a lot.
It's not good for you, but it's like people think we're a little extreme already, I think. Don't think. Just relax, take it easy, leave them alone. Somebody got mad last week.
What?
We talked about one was a pastor's son and felt like we were getting on pastors a little bit. And I was like, I didn't really come away feeling that way. I thought, anyway, that's last week. Go back and watch last week too,
guys,
if you missed it.
It's 2 of these.
2 of these.
It's not nothing.
Here's one way of looking at it. Because I did have a lady getting ready for a wedding. She wanted to go from like 160 to 150. So we have people that want to go from 300 to 200. What do you say? And how different is it when you got somebody wanting to go from 150 to 140? Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of a different world because all it is, if you break down with your weight into calorie intake, the closest that I've seen is if you want to know how many calories should you eat, take what you want to weigh times 13, 1-3. So if you want to weigh 100 pounds, multiply that times 13, you'd eat 1,300 calories a day. If you want to weigh 200 pounds, because people are like, 100 pounds? Nobody should weigh that little. It's just a number.
Easy to
compute. So 200 pounds would be double that. So instead of 1,300 calories, you eat 2,600 calories. And before anybody says, well, I couldn't eat that much or I could eat more, everybody's different, but everybody has a number. And that's the rule of thumb we use. Take what you want to weigh times 13. So if you just want to lose 10 pounds, and I had a lady getting ready for a wedding, she wanted to go from like 160 to 150. I said, Diane, it's just 130 calories. That's what 10 pounds is, 130 calories of intake. If nothing else changes, then 130 calorie change in your daily diet will change your weight by 10 pounds.
So you're telling me...
Added or less.
Would you say Karen, or what was her name? Would you say her name was?
Diane.
Diane, sorry. You're telling me Diane cuts this out, and eventually, just cutting this out, she's going to be 10 pounds less?
That's actually right at 11 pounds, because that's 140 calories. It just takes 130. So that's right at 11 pounds. If she eats that every night with her glass of wine, that accounts for 11 of her pounds on her body. So if she just stops doing that and nothing else changes, over time, she'll drop 11 pounds.
That is crazy.
Well, but see, that's all she had. Because all she had, she maybe said, I have 2 glasses of wine and this piece of chocolate. I'm like, okay. Those are about the only things we had to work with her because she ate so clean.
Wow.
Otherwise, I'm like, which one you want to give up? Because ultimately, isn't this true that when you think about where you want to get to, whether it's lose 100 pounds or the last 10, look at what you're not willing to give up. And the person that achieves it was willing to give that up.
Yeah, that's good.
Isn't that the difference? They were willing to. If you're like, well, I'm not going to give up this is my last little treat.
Yeah.
Okay, then stay 10 pounds heavier. That's fine. Or I don't have time to exercise any more than I do now. That's fine. Stay where you are. You're not even obese. You're a little overweight. Right. But if you want to do it, it is a choice you can make.
Well, is it as simple then with the exercise part, which I know you focus more on the food part, but you burn 130 more calories? On the treadmill, and then you're there?
Yes. And why does that usually not work, though?
You get hungrier?
You get hungrier. So ultimately, you're going to have to deal with that.
With a little hunger.
A little bit of hunger. And I was talking to my wife earlier, because she's right there. She oftentimes has 5 to 8 pounds. Could be 10 if she had a bad week. Often has 5 to 10 pounds. She's like, I'd like to be right there. And it's close because she's got, we're wanting to do a lot. And she's like, I'll do it better. A pickleball, whatever, hanging with the kids, 10 pounds lighter. And I was talking to her and I said, what do you think it is? And she was like, being willing to be a little hungrier. And the way I looked at it was like, yes, you may have, let's say you have 3 times during the day, you're like, I'm kind of hungry right now. Well, change it to 5 times a day where you feel that way, and suddenly you're 10 pounds less.
Wow.
Isn't that all it is? And do we try to oversimplify things? No, but we want to be as real as we can be. And that's all we're doing. We're not trying to oversimplify. We're just trying to be real. A lot of people undersimplify and make it this huge, crazy thing when really, there's a lady I talk about in my program, a model, that she says, I just don't eat as much as I would like. I can't remember what she said before that, but ultimately she said, I just don't eat as much as I would like to eat. Yeah, I saw a girl yesterday at Panera. I was doing my work there. She was actually an employee, and I noticed she was, in my opinion, a little too thin.
Oh, interesting.
And I was hoping she would come over and ask me, do you need anything or something like that, because I wanted to ask her a couple of questions.
You really would have asked her a couple of questions.
I was looking to see. I kind of prayed, and I was like, Lord, if it would be good for me to talk to this person about what we're going to talk about today.
Wow. Kind
of open the door for that. Didn't happen. I felt it might be a little weird or awkward for me just to approach her, so I didn't. But what would I have asked her? One, I would have said, please don't feel obligated to say anything you don't want to say, but I'm doing a podcast and we do a weight loss thing, and some people feel like they're really going to need to suffer to get to a weight in a healthy weight range. And then when I think about somebody even in a lighter than that, where there's a little bit of caution given, you maybe should eat a little more. What's going on with that person? Is she suffering? Is she suffering? Because that's the reason a lot of people, I don't want to lose the last 15, 20, 10 pounds because I already suffered to get here. Mm-hmm. Right? Are you going to have to suffer more to get to there? And is somebody that is underweight suffering, and how do you account for those differences in the mindset of somebody saying, well, she's unhealthy? I don't want to do that.
I don't have a good answer for you there. That's interesting. I do think that's a pretty bold move if you were to approach.
It's always good, though. It's always kind of fun to get a fresh new, you did some of that interviewing on the streets, and it's kind of like that. People enjoy that, but I didn't do it.
That is interesting, though, to think about her being, in your opinion, a little underweight.
Yeah, she was on the charts. She would be on the edge, maybe lighter than she should be. I mean, I know, looking at people.
Yeah,
I can tell you if you're overweight or underweight. It's not. You don't have to be.
Have you
brain
ever?
surgeon.
And I want to get back to this, but have you ever maybe seen someone that is overweight and approached them, like you mentioned, you maybe were gonna approach that girl, someone you didn't know at all, and opened up that conversation? That just seems risky.
Man,
that seems risky.
In all my years, I believe I've maybe approached 3 people to kind of encourage them.
Wow.
15 years, maybe 3 people. And it was always prayerfully.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
And once it worked out really good, the person was really grateful and ended up losing 95 pounds. It was a friend, so that was a little easier.
Okay.
The other, I was at church, and this person was involved at church, and I was praying, I was like, Lord, surely not. Surely I shouldn't go talk to this person. I was like, but, if I should say anything at all, and it would be like, hey, I do a program, just kind of tell them what I do. Like, hey, you're fat. Why don't you do something? That's not what I was looking to say. It's like, hey, great to see you again. I didn't know if you knew, how's it been, and to say, I do this program, if you're ever interested, it's on me, or something like that, and it's always awkward. And I understand if somebody says that's inappropriate, always, but is there ever a door that opens like that you're supposed to walk through? So sure. That person has since, in the moment, they were very kind and gracious. Hey, no, but thanks a lot. I'm real busy right now. Great. Hey, it's great to see you again. And they since joined the program, and they're down 70 pounds.
Wow.
And that was years later. And then there was another one that it was just somebody that I said, hey, I'm doing this program for you, and they were not happy. They were kind of offended.
Oh, really?
How did we get into this?
All right, go back to losing the.
They were kind of like, I haven't talked to you a long time, and that's the first thing you bring up?
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So just removing that, or if you look at something like this ice cream, which I really like ice cream. This has 300 calories per serving. So a lot of people that enjoy some ice cream won't even really think about that there's 4 servings in here. So just one serving is about over 20 pounds. If you ate this pint, this accounts for 92 pounds on your body. So if you eat this every day, that explains 92 of your pounds.
Wow.
if you weigh 92 pounds, we know this is all you eat.
So if
you weigh 292, we know you eat for 200 plus this.
So I was going to say, if you ate just the right amount to weigh what you want to weigh,
yeah,
and then you add that on at the end of the day, there's 92 more pounds.
Right. So if you ate just right to weigh 150, and I had a lady in one of my groups, that's what she's like, well, that's what happened to me. She weighed enough to weigh 150. She added basically this, and she got up to almost morbidly obese, because 92 pounds is only 8 pounds away from morbid obesity. So you eat perfect plus this, you're almost morbidly obese. So it's like, what do you do to get rid of this? Or just the last 10 pounds?
If you want to eat this whole thing, you cut out, a full meal and make this your lunch. You're not going to be real healthy, but you're going to be lighter.
That's a big lunch. 1,000.
That is a big
lunch. That's 1,200 calories.
Yeah, that's 1,200. So lunch and half a dinner. Here's your lunch and half a dinner.
Depending where you're at on your journey, if you're trying to lose weight, that's really going to make it tough to get in sufficient nutrients, and that on top of it.
Yeah, that is fascinating.
So I had a couple of people I was working with, and I told them about one guy I was working with who got up at night and would drive to Hardee's and would get donuts every night. And she's like, "That's crazy." And I told her, as two friends, and I said, "Okay, I agree. That seems crazy." I said, now we need to find out what you're doing that's crazy. Because they came to me for help. Anybody that comes to me for help, part of what they're asking me to do is say, help me see what I'm not seeing so I can make the adjustment, and help me make sense of making the adjustment. Yeah. That's kind of what we do. And I was like, you realize even though you all don't have near the weight to lose this guy did, you got 30 pounds.
So you're doing something crazy.
And you're doing something crazy. Because you're not doing what it takes. So if you're not doing what it takes, I would just put that, well, then you're doing something that you need to not do. Are you willing to look at that? Because if you don't see that thing as a little crazy, it's crazy for someone that weighs what you want to weigh to do that. Right? You're unwilling to give up that thing that if you think it's fine and normal, why are you going to give it up? You need to see it as crazy.
Yeah.
But most people are going to say, no, it's crazy to want to weigh that little because you're not doing anything crazy. See, to them, you're not doing anything crazy. Mm-hmm. If you're just 10, 15, 20, 30 pounds overweight, you're just being normal.
Culturally, the norm is actually more than that.
Right.
Weighing more than 20 to 30 pounds overweight.
So you're deemed crazy if you want to be, almost, really, by a lot of people, if you want to be at a healthy weight, that's crazy, especially if you're 40 or 50 years old. It's like, you had a baby. That's crazy. Why would you? Hey. I don't care, but I think it's a little unfair for somebody that just has a little higher goal than you, if you want to put it that way, that just wants to wear certain things and feel a certain way. Is it okay to judge that and say, that's ridiculous, you're too extreme?
Yeah, that's a good question. You're bringing up some good points, trainer.
To lose the pounds, you're hungrier a little more than you are now. Mm-hmm. And if you want to get your nutrients, you probably don't want to get too many of your calories from Ben and Jerry's and Mountain Dew. That explain it?
I think you covered it.
And one last thing I'll say, you can add whatever you want.
Sure.
When we were talking to Pastor Kurt, he lost 85 pounds, and he said, as he's losing weight, he's getting all these insights. He said, I felt like that God had called me to a lifestyle of fasting. Isn't that all this is?
Bless you.
You get to a certain weight, you're fasting.
Mint right there.
Thank you. You're fasting to get there on some level. Even if giving some things up.
Right. Even if it's just, fasting can look like zero food for a period of time, or could it look like just
being a little hungry? A little hungrier than I usually am. And what I hear with a lifestyle, it's a lifestyle of, I go around a little hungrier maybe than you do. Mm-hmm. Which one is right? And I would say it becomes wrong. One reason it becomes wrong is when you're doing it to the extent it's going to hurt you. Whether it's on the side of you eat a little more than you should or a little less than you should. But what a lot of people do that have struggled to lose is they look at somebody that's doing it as a little extreme because they're doing it well. And it's like, it's so rare. And you'll get people saying, what's wrong? Why are you so extreme? Are you sick? All these things. Because it is rare for somebody to be trying to lose weight when they're within 10 pounds.
Yeah, and no, that's a good point. Kurt lost, how much you said, 60 pounds?
I thought it was like 80 something, 85
Oh, was it
pounds.
more? I think the video we did, which I linked it below in our last video because we referred to it. Great video.
He may have lost some and then felt comfortable putting a little back on or something like that. Which
but
is always
he lost in a very quick amount of time. But I remember when I went and had breakfast with him after he had lost the weight and seeing the way he approached, we went to First Watch, how he approached his meal was most people would observe him and say he's weird because he was looking at the menu and saying, okay, he was doing the calories at this point, being very intentional. I have this many calories allotted to breakfast. I will get this meal because it's in my calorie range.
Yeah.
That's abnormal.
Restricted what he eats by his calorie range. He let that dictate what he was going to order.
Yeah. To maintain the weight. I know that he had lost that final 10, so he was now just maintaining. And it was a little weird. So yeah, to lose that final 10 and do what it takes and be intentional and be a little hungry, a lifestyle of...
It's a little weird.
It's going to be a little weird, especially to someone who is 50 pounds overweight and has determined,
I feel pretty good here.
I feel pretty good.
It's going to be real weird to them.
It's going to be really weird to see you making sacrifices to lose your last 10.
Yeah.
But we're here to say it is okay to embrace the weird.
You better get to that point.
You better.
Or you're never going to get where you want to get.
Guys, comment below because I am curious to hear. I feel like there were a number of things said that specifically by you where it was like, oh, that is an interesting point. That is a little bit provocative. What stood out to you from this video, and are you in this camp of trying to lose maybe the last 10, last 5, the last 15? Are you going to do it? Are you going to commit to it? What have other people said?
Yeah, do it or don't do it. Let's just say do it or don't do it.
What's been your experience? Maybe you've mentioned to a friend, I'm trying to lose my last 15. What's their response been? I'm curious to continue the conversation.
Well, you don't need to lose weight, Cynthia. You look fantastic. Cynthia! Don't you dare.
Stop it, Cynthia.
Stop it.
You are getting too thin.
You're too skinny as it is, sister.
Margaret.
Cynthia.
Cynthia has not eaten I have not seen her eat anything.
I have not seen her eat a
breakfast.
croissant.
She hasn't eaten anything all day since breakfast.
Too far.
Too far. That's way too far.
We apologize for that last bit.
We apologize. All right, guys. Until our next video. Train a Joe. Train your brain.
Transform your body.